Today I hope to present a couple of new subjects to you that you may not have heard about. I'm going to go through everything between incubators, venture capitalists, and venture capitalist firms. And in the middle, I'm going to kind of explain to you my own experience and how I'm connected to this world. Right, so I'm a software developer, a full-stack software developer. That means that I do front-end, which is design, and basically when you open up an app or a website, it's everything that you see and interact with, and back-end, which is all like the server-side logic, databases, etc. I work as a freelancer, doing websites and applications for private clients, and I attend a lot of competitions and hackathons. That's something we discussed earlier, and I'll explain it in a little bit. And of course, I'm a student here at Technion. Alright, so what is an incubator? A business incubator is a company that helps startups, usually in very early phases, basically go from a group of people who have some kind of technology or idea into a minimum viable product. They like to think of themselves as like the doctors and us as the babies, but like us entrepreneurs, it's not exactly like that. We're going to get into that in a little bit. Right. So what do incubators give you? Basically, they help you with all the business basics. They help you network. They introduce you to angels, to venture capitalist firms, and they help you get ready with your pitch and so on and so forth. A lot of them also give you office space, like office space for free. So how do you get in? It really changes between different incubators. Some of them are non-for-profit. Some of them are focused like really on profit. Some of them are more willing to take chances on the team. Others are more concerned about having a definite profit at the end. Some of them are totally free. They're just for the entrepreneurs. And others require equity in return. What is equity? Say any company that is formed has about 100 stocks. And say me and another co-founder, Simon, are equal partners. We each hold 50% of the stocks. 50 stocks each. So in order to get into the incubator, an incubator could tell us, we want you to come in, but we want 10% of your stocks. So that would actually dilute me and Simon from our shares. Alright, so I'm going to talk to you about what I did recently this summer, which is basically my first time leaving the freelance world and what I do by myself and jumping into the venture capital incubator accelerator world. I'll show you a quick video of a competition that me and my teammates took place in during the summer. And just to give you an idea, this was an incubator here in Israel. Is there sound? No. So that was the video of the incubator that took place during the summer. If it wasn't clear, the main point of this incubator, it's a social venture incubator, and it's aimed at creating technological solutions that improve society. This year they focused on the elderly. So what did my team build? Me and a team of 4 friends, which you'll see in just a second, we built a platform for physical therapy. What did we want to do, basically? We wanted to enable anyone to do physical therapy from the comfort of their home. So basically we built a platform that is made up from different games. and the games require the patients to do the motions that they would anyways do during a physical therapy workout. So the older person would come in front of their computer, play a game, which is basically their workout, and we get live feedback from the computer on the quality of their motions. I'll show you a little bit more in just a second. Right, so this was what's called a SaaS platform, software as a service. Besides the motion tracking technology that we built in order to actually track the motions of the patients, what we were actually offering here was really a chance for caretakers and physical therapists alike to be able to track their patients' progress at home. Right, so the results, we won first place. It was really cool and fun. This is my team, my sisters. Itai, he also goes to the Technion. Julie from the University of Haifa, and David, he studies law at Hebrew. And this really brings me to my next point of the incubators and accelerators. So one of the direct results of winning this competition was that we were approached by a group of angels who work in a venture capital firm, and they offered us to join their accelerator. So I'll explain to you now what an accelerator is. Right, so accelerators are pretty similar to incubators, but having said that, there are some distinct differences, right? So what are the main differences? Accelerators are a lot harder to get into. From the biggest ones in the world, sometimes 10,000 teams will compete for like 70 spots. This one is obviously a much smaller one. And money is usually given. The money isn't for free, it's given for some equity. The equity that is basically accepted in the community is somewhere between 7 and 12% for every accelerator cohort. And here really the focus is on small teams. No accelerator will really accept an individual, no matter how good he is. That's just out of the belief that it takes a team to really build a startup. So, I don't know if any of you heard of Y Combinator, but it was the first accelerator ever established, and it's the most successful. I think like 7 unicorns have come out of Y Combinator. A unicorn is a reference to a company that's worth over $1 billion. You probably know some of them: Airbnb, Dropbox, Reddit, Greplin. This one's Israeli. And basically what a bunch of like venture capital groups are trying to do is basically copy this model of bringing in like good teams, building a profit, and for them hopefully enjoying the profit from the equity that they gain. So the point of this conversation, besides explaining to you what incubators and accelerators are, was really to try to give you guys a different perspective. Because everywhere I go to today, and before this competition, and before I actually went on this journey, every time like I would hear that someone raised money, or I was about to raise money, everyone was like, wow, like that's amazing, you're so close to making something great happen. And I really thought so. I didn't really understand what it meant to raise money and to be part of an accelerator and get new co-founders. So we'll start off with an angel. An angel is a lot of the times the people who work in the venture capital firms, and they're usually retired entrepreneurs, not always, but usually retired entrepreneurs who have a lot of money, and they look to invest in young startups or entrepreneurs. And it's actually really funny that I think that they're called angels, because it already like insinuates that they're doing this like amazing thing with like really good cause and stuff, and it's not exactly like that. There are really a few serious cons to taking money. First of all, I guess I was kind of angry at the angels when I wrote this, but you're taking money from people who are really desperate. Like a lot of times they're not technological people at all. They don't really understand what you're doing, except for like, you know, big slogans or logos or numbers that you throw around. And they're desperate to get on like the bandwagon of like the next big company. So they'll be throwing money at you, and they're really expecting you within a year or 2 years to like grow like 300 times to the size of, as of what you are. Which is like a lot of pressure, and a lot of times it's not justified because it has no relevance to what you're actually doing. And then the next stage, after the angels, is taking money from venture capital firms, and you have to go through the whole process of really explaining to them why you're the next and best, greatest thing in the technological world.
Wait, Omer, can I ask?
Yeah.
Can you explain the difference between an angel and a VC?
So angels, a lot of times work in venture capital firms. Angels are usually like older entrepreneurs. Sometimes if it's like a non-for-profit like accelerator, they're people who like want to invest and mentor young entrepreneurs so that they grow. But a lot of times it's just for profit, because they give you money and then you give them equity from your company. Right. So in reality, I know like a lot of people sitting in this room want to like have their own startup. I guess that's why we're here. We're interested in entrepreneurship. But taking money isn't exactly your step to freedom and independence. Every time you raise a round of money, you have a new set of bosses, which is basically the whole board of directors of the group or that you got money from or from the angel. This isn't really good because for every step that you have to do in the company, you have to explain why you're doing this and why it's okay and why you're not growing as fast as they want. And again, when you're talking to people who don't really understand like the certain product that you're working on, it's not that great. Right. So the honest truth is like these investors come to you and they also try to sell you themselves. They'll tell you that they're super experienced, that they've done it before, they believe in you, like you guys are gonna like really make it. But the truth is, they don't know either. They have no clue. They're guessing, they're guessing and they're hoping. And it's not a science. Like people will call it an art. So everything that they say, like I really recommend if you guys are in the position in the future to really like be flattered and be happy that someone is coming to you and wants to give you money, but don't fly from it. And I spoke to like a venture capitalist who I didn't take money from, but he basically told me that I throw a bunch of money at the wall. I don't know what will stick, but I keep on throwing, hoping that something works. So, and again, like sometimes they give like $50,000 or $100,000. You guys might think it's like a lot of money, but it's not. They give $50,000 in a round to maybe like 20 companies or 30 companies, depending on how big the venture capital firm is, and it's enough for them for one of the companies to do really, really, really well. Like statistically, 99% of these companies don't do anything, but the return on that one company, on that one Airbnb or that one Waze that makes that $1 billion exit is enough to keep everyone very happy. So the bottom line is, I hope you guys have your own businesses and you guys are approached by investors, but don't rush to take the money. A lot of times it's better to maybe not develop as quickly, but not dilute the founders from the beginning and lose control of what it is you're trying to do from the beginning. A lot of times this kills the energy and the culture of the startup. And remember why you started up in the first place. Accepting money is a big responsibility, and when you do it, I think it's really important for you and your whole team to do the due diligence in researching who these investors are, and just making sure they're a good match for your team, because essentially you're adding someone on, and it can really disrupt it, and not in a good way. That's it. If you guys have questions. Yeah.
Well, I don't understand, like, what's the relationship with these angels? I mean, they just come on a daily basis, they want to see what you've done. And
right, it like really changes, because they're ones who are like more hands-on and less. In general, like I said, they don't know technology at all. It's people who have money. Someone else will run the accelerator. Like younger guys, maybe product managers or something like that. They'll put the money, they'll want to hear every 2 months or every month or whatever, a report on how you're doing. At the end of the accelerator program, you have a demo day, which is basically a day where they invite all like angels and investors from a bunch of places, and the goal is for you to like the sot od gius, to get another investment round. But they're not involved at all. They just they want to hear numbers. They give you money, and basically you work for them.
They're not part of the decisions.
They are.
Yeah.
They can, it depends how much shares they have. Because usually it's not enough for a startup company to make one investment round. Like say for an early stage startup, you'll take like $30,000 for something like 10%. Okay, and if it's a company that's growing a lot, most companies will need to again have like a seed A, seed B, and seed C, which are like another 3 times where they have to raise money. Now by seed C, like by the times a lot of these big companies that you hear about, they do exits, the original co-founders, if they were smart and not diluting their own shares, have like 10% of the company. So they're not even in control of like what they built and whatever. So they can't make decisions by themselves about, say, the marketing or the technology. Like it has to be something that the board of directors votes upon and agree upon.
Probably just to add something, like during my internship, I worked for like a VC here in Tel Aviv.
Which VC firm?
Terra Ventures.
Okay.
But like I wasn't more in the startup side. Like the partner will be here and probably tell a different perspective.
Yeah, he'll tell himself.
But like you have to figure out which is right. But you are definitely also right. And I met a guy in Tel Aviv who sold his company for $200 million to Telefonica, and in the end he got out $1 million. So that's what he like. There were 4 partners. They got out like in total $5 million, something like that. and the other like $195 million went to the VCs, private equity companies, and all other guys who invested during the different rounds till they got to that size.
Yeah,
so probably that's a good example, like how finance can work.
I just want to make clear also, like, I'm not saying like everyone's bad. There are some VC firms and angels who are really excellent and professional. I personally, like, just now had a not so good experience with people that were trying to fund us, and it's just important. Like he said, they're going to come and they're going to tell their story, but it's also, I think, important to hear the other side of the story, which I didn't hear. I wasn't aware of the things, so it's business. That's all. Yeah.
Since you just did this, maybe you could tell us, is it like when you give out equity of your company, is it like stocks that you can sell stocks that don't have control?
Yeah, well,
so then the person could own like 10% of your company but have zero control over it?
Yeah, you can definitely. Eitan is saying that sometimes the equity firms, they want stocks. But there are stocks that count as voting shares and non-voting shares. So a company can hold 10% of stocks, but when it comes to voting, they have no voting rights at all. Usually they won't agree to that because they want control of the company. Like, they want to have a say in what's being done, because then it's also their money that they put in. But it's a better deal for the entrepreneur.
Okay, one last question. We need to move on. So somebody that didn't speak. Yeah.
Okay. So I understand that you do not recommend to young.
No, I don't not recommend it.
Yeah, to rush into taking money and building something out of the angels. So what path do you do recommend for them?
No, so it's not that I'm against taking money.
No,
I think
yeah,
that I think it's some, like, it depends what you're doing, and it really changes between every startup and every business that you're running. But first of all, don't like feel like, oh my God, like someone's giving me money, I must take it. Like, no, like there are a lot of, if one person wants to give you money, other people are also gonna want to give you money, and it's really important for you to realize, like, they're not doing you a favor. Like, you need to check who they are. You need to see if there's chemistry between the team, and it's really important, because in the end you might get that, I don't know, $50,000, and you think it's a lot, but you gave up a lot of equity and added really like crappy people to your team. So.
Okay. Let me ask the class a question and try to